was loud.
That thing was loud. It scared me.
All right, so we are live on the Facebook page. Let me go back to the Google Meet. All right, so I just got us live on the Facebook page so that we are recording. Unmute yourself if you have a question. We're going to go ahead and get started. And for those of you on Facebook Live, you're going to be watching the computer screen right behind us. So you'll see the presentation for everybody on Google Meet. I'm going to present the presentation. Don't worry too much about it. There's not a lot of content in there. It's more visual just to kind of have an idea. But we'll go ahead and get that started now. Alrighty. So I am covering up the Google Meet, guys. So again, if you have a question or you want us to pause, unmute yourself and talk with us out loud, okay? All right, so we are doing sales funnel and lead conversion today. And we're going to get strategies and tips from Nadeem. He's been, I don't know if anybody really has been paying close attention to what Nadeem's been doing, but he joined us back in February last year.
Right.
So we're going on 1 year with Nadeem. Congratulations. Yay. And just like everybody else, you know, he was ready to hit the ground running, and then COVID hit. And so everything stopped. But Nadeem did join us as a part-time agent with the, intent of working his other full-time job until he kind of got some ground under him. And then circumstances, and now Nadeem is a full-time agent with us. So just to give you a little bit of history, he worked in the banking industry. I'm going to let Nadeem talk a little bit more about himself, but he has in one deal last year, hit Millionaires Club. And he is doing a little bit different. He is our commercial guy. So while those transactions are a lot bigger, they also have a lot more work behind him. And he's just been rocking, rolling, going, moving, and is creating a very successful career for himself. So because of that, we want to kind of use some of his expertise and his back history of, being in business and being able to negotiate and kind of help you guys to talk to people and how to actually convert those leads. So thank you, Nadeem, for being with us today.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Go ahead. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and we'll jump right into sales funnel.
All right. So centuries ago, I started in the banking world back in '92. I had no sales experience whatsoever. I had never even heard what sales are. Public speaking was zero. I actually flunked my school with the speech class because I could not stand up in front of two people and talk. So my teacher gave me an F for that. So I think that was one kick in the butt for me to figure out what I got to do. When I started in the banking world, it was very hard for me to have a 30 seconds conversation with any customer. Long story short, figured it out that nobody's going to help me unless I help myself. So I started looking at all the top salespeople, how they talk, what they say, how they say it, and whatnot. And I started learning one thing that has helped me is I had to adopt my own style. I tried other people's style, did not work because that was not my style. That was their style, and it worked for them perfect because of their personalities and whatnot. But it wasn't working for me. So the more rejections I got, the more adamant I became, the more determined, and I took that as a challenge to the point where I started doing quite a bit of public speaking for the bank. I grew up in the ranks, made it to the management. I was in the banking sales, management, sales training, anything like that for 26 plus years. And I worked with all the major banks, Citigroup, Bank of America, Chase's, and all that. Was just getting tired enough is never enough. No matter how high of a sales I generated within the region, it was always, you didn't do enough, you got to do more. So thanks to one of my friends, he started pushing me, and said, you need to go individual. You're making so much money for the bank. You're not doing nothing for yourself. To the point one day he called me and he said, I'm online, I'm paying your classes, and you're going to go and join real estate school. And I was like, oh my God, I got to go from security of 2 weeks paycheck every 2 weeks to commission. And I said, I'm going to die. Well, I did not die, so I'm still here. So I took that as a challenge. I told him, stop, I'm going to do it myself. Did it, went to champions and whatnot. And long story short, and here I am with Renee. And I think Renee and I had the shortest interview of my career. That was probably 5 minutes when I made a decision that I'm going to stick with Renee and not go to Keller Williams or anybody like that. Started, like she said, in February. I was very part-time, not just part-time. Thanks God, corporate life, they pushed my buttons and COVID came in, and I decided to take a jump of, leap here, and I took a big jump and left corporate life, and I went full-time in October, end of October maybe or something, where I went full-time. In November, I think I had a conversation with Renee, and I said, gotta be on top, can't do without it, don't want to be on the bottom, whatnot. And she said, well, let's see what you can do. So took a challenge, because that let's see what you can do challenge is a challenge, So went ahead, started the residential side. Quick, I realized that residential is very good. It wasn't that difficult, but I realized that I'm missing out on a bigger picture. And I'm going to tell you why I say that. In residential, when I was talking to the clients, the focus of the customer was only Nadeem can do is residential. He doesn't know anything beyond residential. And then we started noticing that I spoke to a couple of clients, and I kind of mentioned about the commercial, that I'm, moving, maybe thinking of going commercial. And the first transaction conversation, after we were halfway through, the client started asking me, do you do residential also? And I said, yes, I do. And that was the start of that, because I figured out every commercial has a residential need, because they either have a house or they want to get another house, they want to go bigger house, whatever. And usually it's a bigger house when they're buying commercial properties. And that was automatic conversation for me to have with a commercial. With a residential, you really don't know, and you really can't tell, because pretty much most of your clients are going to be 95 clients, and they may not have no interest in commercial now or in the future also. So that's why I jumped into commercial. Commercial was a challenge. I started my day usually about 7, 8 in the morning. And since then, I haven't been going to bed before 1 o'clock in the morning, because what I do is, when I approach a commercial client or a residential client now, before I approach them, I like to kind of do a quick assessment of the person by just having a general conversation, nothing to do with the real estate. And I do is sit down and do my research. I look up, based on what I have gathered in a general conversation, what they're looking for, which way I can, guide them into, what will be beneficial, what's going to be challenge. And I go back to table and I start a conversation with them based on what I have gathered. So what it is when I'm talking to them, now I am much more knowledgeable. So when they're asking me questions, I'm not stumbling through, and I'm not doing too many or let's see kind of thing. By the time they're finishing the sentence, I am already starting a conversation, giving them the answer to the whatever question they have. I think that is main thing, because that gets their attention right away. They're like, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. He has done his homework. Some of them will say, have you done your homework? And I always tell them, Of course I did my homework. If I'm going to sell you, I need to know what I'm selling you.
Exactly.
Otherwise, I won't sell you. So that is the start of the conversation where I get started. I still don't sell them. I still just give them answers to the questions they have. When I start selling them right off the bat, then I become like a regular salesman that we see it in the store the moment you enter it, and they'll be like, welcome to whatever store. I'm here to help you. And the moment you say, okay, great, thank you, I'll let you know, and you turn, and everywhere you go, they're stuck to your shoulder. And you're like, okay, thank you, I'm going to leave now. And I leave. So I don't do that. I will give them the logic. I will give them the reasons. And then I kind of back off.
And you create a relationship.
I just create a relationship, and I back off. And two things happen. One thing is, now I know a whole lot about them, and I have already gathered what I need, enough ammunition that when I go back, I don't have to ask those questions again. And I already know customers will forget what they have told me. I will not forget. And I've used that many times in my career. Off the topic, I'm going to tell you one time I was helping a customer open an account, and I asked, first thing was, you always ask for their IDs. I take an ID, and first thing I do, I always look at the ID immediately. So 3 things I will look: full name, what kind of an address they have, and what is their date of birth. And I always try to hope that the date of birth is close, very close, either coming soon or just passed or is right that day or whatnot. During the conversation, I will just jump off the conversation of banking, and I'll just say, by the way, Renee, happy birthday. They're like, how do you know it's my birthday? I'm psychic, I just like to throw jokes kind of things. And just leave the customer to thinking now, because now the customer is like, how does he know it's my birthday? Or it just passed, or it's coming. And I'll keep them thinking until the end. And when we're done, they will come back and they'll ask, well, you have to tell me, how did you know that it was my birthday or whatnot? And I just tell them, let me tell you how. And I just turn around the ID and say, what do you see on it? And that, what it does, it's just kind of makes that bond, and it kind of makes the deal for me solid, because now I have that customer where I have taken away the barrier that was there that usually you will have with the strangers. And they are just my repeat customers for years and years and years now. So
I'm going to cut you off there for just a second. So I love the stories, and we're going to get a little bit more into his stories, but I just want to quickly touch on,
yes,
since we're training, and make sure that we kind of touch on the big stuff.
Yeah.
So the sales funnel, a lot of things out of the story that Nadeem just talked about. Attracting customers, guys, you can get your leads through various sources. I provide leads. If you want leads, let me know. We can put you on our lead area. If you have your own leads, work on getting your database in Sphere. Obviously, lead generation is a totally different class. We've done it, I think in September or October that we did lead gen, and we'll continue to do it, and we'll do it again to kind of help you guys to start formulating those databases and really figuring out what your niche is. Nadeem talks about his niche being commercial and how he realized that that's what he wanted to do. Just because you have a niche doesn't mean you can't go back to what, the standard, regular, everyday stuff is, okay? So you need to attract your customers, and we're just going to briefly touch on the sales funnel, because in these steps, converting the lead and closing the deal is really where we want to focus today. So the next step in the sales funnel is to interact. Nadeem's example of the bank taking their, driver's license and noticing it was their birthday, you need to engage with your leads, whether it's through the CRM or phone calls, whatever the case is. You want to make sure that you're interacting with your leads. You can do that through social media or more direct points. But the thing is, you want to use the tools that are provided to you. So big reason we changed CRMs, right, was because nobody was using it. That's okay. But it helps you because you can work smarter and not harder. So make sure that when you're jumping in, putting your leads into your CRM, they're going to automatically be emailed. They're going to automatically be texted. And then you can get these little reminders. Hey, call this person. You leave another note for yourself, another reminder, and you can continue to interact with them. So knowing stuff like their birthday and saying, hey, happy birthday, or sending them an email or a text message or a quick phone call. Those are the kind of things that convert them into those relationships that Nadim is talking about, and making it a more relational and friendly conversation than sell, sell, sell. Like he said, you walk into the store, what can I help you with? Nothing, I don't need anything, I'm just looking. Even though you probably went in there with the intention of buying 5 pairs of pants, but now you might not because they're just harassing you so much. If they said, hey, how's your day? You're more likely to talk to them than, hey, what can I help you with? So make sure that you guys are interacting in a way that you're being super conversational, very relational, because that's what real estate is, a relational business. And then we convert. So this is really where Nadim's going to retake over the conversation, but we're converting our leads by interacting with them. Eventually you're going to convert them. That means they want to take action with you. They want to do something. Follow up here is key, and it can take an average of 12 touches per lead to get them to do something with you. So don't give up. 1 phone call, 2 emails, and a text message is not going to get you the business. So make sure that you are persistent and consistent, but not a pest. Do you have anything to add to the convert? When we go to the next slide, we're going to use all your examples. But
I'm going to keep on, emphasizing on the fact that you should figure out what your style is and use your style. Don't use anybody else's, sales pitch, because that is not your sales pitch. If you can get that, good in your mind that I have to have mine, you can take the pointers from everybody's sales pitch. It may take you a few tries to come up with your own style, what works with your personality, because everybody has a different personality. I could be very direct, you may not be very direct, so adopt and change until you can get it corrected where, what is your style.
What would you consider a sales pitch, Nadim, like in the conversion area, in the convert funnel?
So again, I never, when I call the leads, I don't call them and off the back I said, I am the one who's going to just find you this property. There's nobody else in the world. I call and I just, from the very beginning, I just tell them, I got this lead because you're our preferred customer. That's why you clicked on one of our, websites, and it got sent to me that you're possibly in the market. All I want to know right now is, here's my number, here's whatnot. I'm available. You tell me what is it exactly that you're going to be looking for, and I tell them up front, I am not going to be sending you 20 leads a day from my listings just because I have those. But on the other hand, none of those may be of your need because that's not what you're looking for. So I tell them if they can give me maybe 5 minutes the most, where I can ask a few questions and they can ask me a few questions, and we can come to a conclusion that what exactly their need is rather than what I think their need is, because it's all about them, not about me. What I can do, I know what I can do, but I can't do that unless I know what exactly the customer is looking for.
And can you tell us a little bit how you're interacting with people on Facebook before they become a lead, or
Correct.
before they really become a lead? Because Nadim's got this really cool strategy that he's been using on Facebook groups that I'd like him to share with you.
Correct. So I have never been a Facebook person. I didn't even know up until November what Facebook is, honestly. I started that, I stumbled through it, I figured it out. I have signed up with different ethnic groups, those are there. I have just become a part of that. And now I get inundated with messages, showing up because people are posting whatever. If they're selling something, they're posting it there. I just quickly every morning, throughout the day, multiple times, I will kind of glance through it. The moment I see a word, house, in the market, or something that is of my field, I am on it. And I will take a look and see what has happened since the customer has put in their need on the Facebook. And usually the need is, I've been in the market, I can't find this house. I've been in the market, I'm looking for this. But they are not specifying what exactly they're looking for. Right under that in the comments, immediately in less than 5 minutes, you have 15, 20, maybe 30 responses from every realtor in the world. And they all have a same exact conversation. Call me, I'll find, I have what you're looking for. Call me, I can get you this. Or, I have this and I have that. So I go back and look at the conversation that the customer has or a client has posted because they're talking from their emotions, what they are looking for. I take that, I dissect it, now I know how to approach it. What I do is when I put my post, which is usually very much in the bottom, I go back and talk about the facts of what they're looking for. So if they said, I'm looking for West Plano. Now, West Plano is pretty big, and they share, from my understanding, different school districts also. So I will tell them, you're looking for West Plano. West Plano has this to offer you. They have this side of the West Plano, where the south side, which is, prices are this much average. You go to the north side, close to Frisco, the prices are this much. This is the square footage, will be in this side of the town, this kind of square footage in that side. If you have small kids, these are the schools, those are A-rated, and if you're sending your kids to private school, don't even worry about looking at this because this might be the place that you be more interested in. And I give them the facts, whatever is the requirement of the customer.
But you show that you're an expert in the
Yes.
market
Yes.
right off the bat without saying, call me,
Correct.
I'll give you all the
Yeah,
answers.
none of that thing, that call me or anything like that. I have a young lady here, she's been talking to me, and I do is I also send them a messenger message because that gives me kind of a, lead right there for me, because then I can go back and remember that who I'm supposed to contact, okay? And her demand was actually not unreasonable or not doable in Texas market. She was looking for a brand new house, under 250, 5 bedrooms, 3,000 square foot and up. I don't think there is any new build that's in 250. Everybody told her, oh yes, I can get you. I gave her the facts. I gave her the city. She was looking around Garland, and I told her how far in Garland there's a new build, and I gave her a few names of the builders, and I said, this is their minimum starting point. And I said, if you see they say price start from, that's a teaser. That price never is there. By the time you go in the door and you come out, the 250 house becomes 375. So give her all that facts, and I just, in the very bottom, when I finished my conversation, I did not say call me. All I did was I just put my link over there for my Facebook page, and I just left it. And not even maybe 2 minutes later, she private messaged me, and she's like, I like what you said. And I said, and she's like, now I need to find this. So I said, I still did not tell her, okay, you got it, I'm your guy. I told her, I said, I saw there was about 30 realtors who contacted you. She said, yes. And I said, well, now your job starts. Now you need to actually do your homework and narrow down to the realtor that you're going to work with. And her immediate response was, I'm ignoring every one of them. I'm already talking to you.
That's fantastic. Okay, so now we just see how Nadeem attracts people. He just looks for people who are speaking his language in his Facebook groups. Then he interacts with authority, with expertise,
Confidence.
and with confidence without actually asking for the business. Facts, confidence, and authority. Then now she's reached out to him, so he's now converting this lead, and he in that conversion. His first recommendation to her is pick a realtor. I'm not going to give you all my gems of gold if you're not going to use me. So you need to start your homework. You need to choose a realtor. And what is her answer? Well, I'm already talking to you. I've chosen you. That's a fantastic. This is like a very simple funnel here with Nadeem and his Facebook page, but this is the kind of example that you can use in your everyday business. Like, how are you going to attract people? Interact with them, be the authority, be the expert, okay? Do your homework as a realtor. We need to know what's going on in the market, that this school district is different than this one, that this price point is different than this one, and that the square footage average in one city. Do you know that about your target city? Because you should. And then once they start talking to you, you know, that's not the only conversion, because your next conversion, Nadeem, right, would be let's meet them and close the deal. Take it offline. So he's right now in the online stage of conversion, but closing the deal takes it offline. So do you have with this particular lead, a step or an action plan or anything ready to take it offline, meet them, and find homes?
So last night conversation with this young lady is because now that she has contacted me twice, and she pretty much straight out told me that I want you to look for house for me. And I next request last night I did was that, do you have 5 minutes tomorrow in the afternoon, which is today? I need to complete my research in finding what you are looking for in the house. And I left it at that still. And her immediate response was, okay, so I am meeting with her this afternoon.
Fantastic.
And all I'm going to be doing is what every other realtor is going to do anyways. You know, what are you looking for? You know, how many rooms you want? You know, what square footage, whatnot. And I'll gather all that. And then I'm going to probably, by tonight, I'm going to narrow down at least one or two houses that I think are a right fit for her. And I'm going to forward it to her. Okay. The reason is that I'm going to commit to her, how fast I'm going to get back to her. Commitment and keeping your commitment or your appointment is 100% crucial. You promise something, you say something, you better deliver. And if you cannot, ahead of time, you want to immediately get hold of them and let them know exactly why would you not be able to deliver. I need a couple of more minutes because I am just waiting on something that I need to verify on this property before I get on the phone with you or take you down there or whatnot. That will do is keep on making your relationship with the customer strong, because then they know that you are giving them individualized attention. They're not just another customer on your book that you have to check mark every day. I called, or send them 20 listings or whatnot. To their mind, that is that you are the customer. You are not a customer, but you are the customer.
And that's part of closing the deal as well. So if you think about why do people back out of their offers or their contracts or their relationship with you, is because either one, they don't feel like they're getting enough attention, or two, they get cold feet. Remember that a large majority of consumers in the real estate market, these are the biggest transactions of their lives. And if you don't show your expertise, show that they're a priority in your, day to day, and make them feel comfortable with you, they're going to get cold feet and want to back out. And that's why a lot of deals will fail with you, but that person's eventually going to buy. It just may not be with you. So as long as you're doing your part to, stay connected with them,
right,
then that's the best thing that you can do. So You want to give us a couple more examples of making a connection? How do you make a connection with people who are just out there? They're not a lead yet, but you're going to get them. Give us some ideas on how to do that.
So when I'm out and about doing my real estate thing, I'm not just focusing on what I went out to do. If I'm going out to meet with Renee, in between my start point and end point to Renee, I'm either stopping or doing something. And while I'm doing that, my ears and eyes are open. And I just keep my ears open. I'm listening to the people behind me. I'm listening to the people in front of me, sideways. The moment I hear a little buzz that has anything to do with the real estate, I just turn around, either agree, disagree, or whatever, because I need to start a conversation. And I will just give them quickly my advice or my opinion on it, because I have the answer. And then I just let them start talking, because people love talking about whatever issue or whatever good or bad it is. And the moment they're doing that, then I turn around and I say, I'll just straight out ask, are you in the market? Are you in the market? Are you looking? Are you selling? Are you buying, or what? And they love to tell you. If you ask customer about their business, they want to tell you, believe me. You don't ask, they don't want to tell you.
Nadeem is the king of ask and you shall receive. We were at a photo shoot, the very first photo shoot at a new build community, and there were people walking in the door to view the property, and he's like, "Hey, do you have a realtor?" This guy had just gotten his license like a month before. If you do not ask, you will not receive.
Yeah.
But if you do ask, you're 50% there, you may receive the deal or you may not, but at least you have the opportunity. So definitely be voicing yourself out there.
Yeah, and no, the funny thing was because all the other realtors walked right in front of all those clients, and I'm like, last one coming it out, I'm like, I don't have a permanent cards, I have my temporary cards here. And I just stopped the customer and I said, oh, you're looking into this house going in there? Yes, beautiful house, 5 bedroom, here, this and that. Who's your realtor? Don't have it. Here's my card. Because you may need a realtor in Nashville to negotiate the price or something, and feel free to call me. They never called me, but you know what? Every time you give a card, every time the customer gets in their car, you know what happened to the card that you gave it to them? They're going to toss it into the passenger seat next to them. Or they're going to put it right in front where the little glove compartment where it's open all the time. And sooner or later, they're going to be thinking, I need to buy, and they get in the car, and I guarantee you they're going to look at your card because you are the only person who gave them that card that is sitting there. They will call you, and you'll be surprised. But when they call you, here's the second thing that I've done and always worked. They're going to call and they're going to say, hey, do you remember me? Yes, of course. I've met you, but you don't know if I remember you or not. But I will ask quickly a couple of probing questions that will quickly jot my memory back, where and how I met that person. And to them, it's a surprise. To them, they think you are that smart computer out there that you click a button and things pop up right away. They'll give me a reason. They'll give me a reason to tell me their name without knowing that they're giving me their name. They'll give me a reason to quickly remember what 2-minute conversation I had with them. And that's all I need to keep the conversation going after that.
Awesome. All right, so we talked a little bit about making connections. The next step is following up. So can you give us examples of how you follow up? So Nadeem right now is kind of using his Facebook Messenger as a CRM, but what are other ways that you use to stay on top of your follow-up and make sure you're really reaching out to people when you should be?
Yeah. So my dining table is full of papers right now, and I have clients' names, and I have the time or date when I contacted them, and with the conversation, I made a judgment that does this customer want to be contacted every day, or is this a person I can wait 3-4 days and then call them, and they're not going to be annoyed about it because that's what they prefer, and I just kind of put them in an order. And every morning I do is start with the one who wants to be contacted now. And then I go down the list based on, what the need is. My notes are there from my last conversation, so I know where I stopped my conversation. Maybe some of them, they're one call, that's it. I don't need to have worries after that. I'm already on the roll doing things for them. Some of them will take me maybe 1 or 2 calls before. By 3rd call or 4th call, that's only my style, guys. Not everybody's okay. I will make a judgment that is it worth me continuing this conversation, or is it worth me saving this 5 minutes of time and move on to the next one that is actually going to be a business for me. So if I can make a judgment and if I can learn or, that what is going to work out and what is a waste of my time, I can actually generate more leads and more closings than keep on, working with the one that will never work out.
And keep in mind, the 12-touch follow-up is an internet lead that you've never met or
Correct.
have no relationship with. So a lot of times Nadeem's already got some sort of relationship with the customers that he's calling through his database and Sphere, which we will do a class on again soon to help everybody get that going if you missed our last class on it. Do you find that you have a better conversion on your follow-up with phone calls than you do with text messages, emails, or messengers?
They all balance out sometime. I am more successful on the way I'm doing now, that uh, word to mouth, on my Facebook, social media. Um, I have success more on that rather than calling the core leads. Those are coming in through somebody, or the old systems that we had. Um, the new leads, those are being already kind of cleaned out and everything. They are pretty much ready, that they need something now. Um, that ones are working good for me. Um, the only key thing that I've noticed, since I started working, was the moment the lead is dropped to me, I must call them right then and there. Drop everything else, because nothing else is priority than losing that deal, because the same time that I'm trying to call them, somebody else has that lead in their table somehow, somewhere too.
That is absolutely correct. So say that one more time. What do you have to do when you get a lead dropped to you?
The moment your computer or your phone says ping, there's a message, you need to open and get on it immediately.
Guys, you don't have to look up the property. You don't have to be an expert in everything right at that moment. Get them on the phone. Figure out what they need, and then be the expert and the authority at that point. If
Correct.
you don't get them on the phone, you've already lost the deal.
Yeah, you snooze, you lose.
Yes, absolutely. All right, be the authority. So we talked a little bit about, being the expert, submitting the facts. Nadim, how else do you make sure that you're the authority and not being pushed around by your clients? Because a lot of times, I know this has happened in our brokerage. This happened with me early in my career, where a client came to me and it's like they were trying to boss me around. Yes, I work for them, but how do you overcome their, I know what I'm doing more than you know what you're doing mentality?
So from the get-go, when you meet, it's okay to listen to the client, because they like to come up that bossy, I would say, that very adamant, I know what I'm doing, so I need you to do what I'm telling you to do. Listen to them. Let them vent it out, whatever they have in them. Uh, I'll call it chip on their shoulder, that they are more expert than anybody else. That's fine. They can tell you what they want to do, and then you take that. Don't ever disagree with them. Just agree with them and just say, I got you. I hear you. I hear you. And when they're done, you just give them 2 seconds just to make sure they're done, and then you say, great, perfect. I think we can work just fine together. So here is how I run my side of the business. I know, and I'm just not saying exactly what I'm telling them, but my thoughts are, I know what I can do for you. I know how am I going to do it for you. You tell me what is your time frame and your availability, and I'm going to make sure that I deliver within that. But the steps are A, B, C, D. Okay. So first is, I'm going to need this information from you. If I don't have the information, we cannot move forward. And that starts with our IABS forms and stuff like that. You need to clarify that to them. If I'm going to work and dedicate my time to you, then I'm going to have that authority to do it. If I don't have it, I cannot move forward. Okay? I don't like to waste my time sending them leads, and they will say, well, go ahead and send me the things, and I'll think about it. I just tell them that, you know what, it's better that maybe you want to take your time and come to a solid decision, that if I am the one who's going to be assisting you on that we're going to have to follow the steps. And the steps are, the first is that you're going to give me authority by signing the rep agreement, that I am going to be your realtor, that I'm not going to be basically left out at the end of the day when I find out that somebody else got ahead of me, because there are some realtors who were lowball the deal by saying that, well, if Nadim is charging you 3%, I'm going to only charge you $500. And here we go. I have nothing in my control to go back and say, Mr. Buyer, or, you cannot take this property and go and buy it through that realtor, because I'm the one who brought you this deal. And that's, my deal kind of thing. So I have actually straight out refused clients that, I'm sorry, yeah, we're not a good match. You may want to look for a different realtor. And it worked out just fine because the time that I was spending with them, quickly, I got two others. Those were better than that one.
That's fantastic. Awesome. So the last major step that I'd like some examples on are closing the deal. So, this actually, he kind of just dipped into this, but weeding out the tire kickers and working with the serious prospects. How, other than straight out just refusing business, how do you know right off the bat if somebody, or even not right off the bat, how do you know when somebody is kind of just pulling your chain or being super difficult? And what is the conversation that you actually have with them so that it's professionally cut short?
Mm-hmm. I would say 100% of the time, they will have a conversation where they will give you a clear idea that they are not going to work with you. All they're doing is they're going to be taking advantage of your expertise, and they're going to do what they have to do and go somewhere else and get the deal done. By asking, straight up questions in the beginning, getting the agreements, if the customer is, kind of not putting their agreement to what you're going to be asking them, and they're being very vague about the situation, I politely just excuse myself and say, you know what, I'm not the right realtor. And I believe there's nothing wrong in saying that. It would have been possibly, but to me, I have come to a conclusion that if I made a decision that this is not going to work out for me with this client, I'd rather not, go forward with that. And I just lose it and concentrate on others. Those are going to be more, less stressful and more, my style kind of thing. So it's just the 5 minutes conversation. If you have your probing questions, if you ask the right probing questions, 5 minutes, you will definitely know if that is a client that you want to work with or not. Because just like a client, I have the same option, to work with them or not. Mm-hmm. You're not bound to it, depending on, how much stress you want to take on yourself with the ridiculous kind of demands they're going to have. I have canceled rep agreements to the client by just calling them straight up and just tell them, you know what, it's not working out. Unfortunately, I'm not what you're looking for, and I'm going to, let you out of the contract so you can go and deal with another realtor. Mm-hmm. And they were very surprised and very shocked. They're like, you are? I said, yes, I am. They're like, but we prefer to stay with you. And I said, unfortunately, on my side, it's not working out. So I have let the doctors go, which were good transactions. In return, actually, that has created more business for me because of that reason. Because when the customer saw that, I don't play games. They have their rules, and I have my standards and rules that I'm gonna follow. I'm not gonna, degrade myself and my reputation, which is going to end up throughout the market. Mm-hmm. I'd rather get out of it when I have a good relationship with the same person and I can just live on a good terms rather than getting into some bad situation.
Sometimes it's about valuing yourself,
yes,
and knowing the value that you provide.
Correct.
And knowing that you're going to get it back tenfold or
yes.
twofold, mm-hmm. just because you don't have time to deal with drama when you can just go and deal with good people.
Correct. And my first commercial deal was exactly that's what I just said. The person who closed with me or exclusively went with me and did multiple deals now was part of the group that I terminated my rep agreement with them on my terms. And that person abandoned that group and hired me exclusively to do his deals, and he got more even my lifetime customer because Renee will remember mm-hmm. in the last 3 days of booking we saved him over $1 million cash back to his accounts. Mm-hmm. And he could not believe that can happen because everybody told him you lost your money, and I said no, you haven't yet. not until I have tried everything. And thanks to Renee and thanks to Rick, we got the money back within 24 hours before even seller can agree to giving us the money back. Money was back into his account, and he just was dumbfounded that how that happened to him. And I said, it happened, and you're not going anywhere anymore. You're gonna stay with me.
Exactly. So guys, it's we got about 5 minutes left, and so we're gonna wrap it up here. But it's really all about, you know, being confident in what you're doing, knowing your subject, and your subject is real estate. And while that seems like a huge subject, take it client by client. You know, everybody is different. That's what's fantastic about this business is you're not doing repetitive work every single day, and the market changes every single day. So just make sure that you are, you know, educating yourself, that you are, even if you don't feel super confident in the beginning, fake it till you make it.
Mhm.
Don't fake the answers. If they ask you questions, make sure you have the right answers. But the confidence, get out there, put yourself out there, smile, and know that even if you're a newer agent, you can be an authority, and you just lean on us. You know, you lean on your broker's experience. You lean on the people behind you's experience. We talk about it all the time. We are a family here. So our experience is your experience. You guys know you can call me anytime if you need a quick question answered. Text me if you like pocket texting. They ask me a question and I don't know the answer. That's fine. I will always get back to you guys quickly. So definitely make sure you're confident you are the authority. Use some of Nadim's tips on you know, how to convert those leads when they're coming in. What, you know, the little tips you can do to stand out from the crowd, and work on homework.
Yes.
What is your sales pitch and what is your style? Because as many examples as Nadim can give you, you still have to work it out for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't high school. We can't give you the answers to the test, but we can give you the study guide, right? And so make sure you really are practicing those sales pitches, or even just knowing what your style of communicating is.
A couple of things I'm going to add here, if it's okay. One thing, honesty is the best policy.
Absolutely.
Never guess an answer. If you do not know an answer, I tell you it means a whole lot more if you tell a customer, I don't know the answer, let me get you an answer. They will respect you for that rather than you guess an answer and make a lie, because then you're going to have to make 10 more lies to cover that, and it's going to end up pretty bad.
Or it's just embarrassing to backtrack.
Yes.
I told
Yes.
you this, but.
Yes. And also, when you are meeting with a client first time, don't have everything all about business. Have a general conversation. Find a connection with them. There's always something they will say or do, or they'll have it on them that will make you make a connection with them. I don't even know American football. I can make a connection with the people who love football. Believe me, I can pretty much wing it quite a bit on that one. I always look at the person. I look for things that they're wearing. I hear what they're saying, and I'll make a connection. And I think Jose will tell you on his recent shadowing that he did with me for a commercial client, that how I think like 5 minutes into it, I quickly figured out something, and I went off topic of the property that I was showing him, and I asked a couple of things, and that guy went from just talking to us about forgetting everything and having the conversation of the life with me. And then, of course, I control the conversation and I kind of steer him back to what we were doing. But now I can guarantee you he's going to come back to me again, even though he's not my client, and I'm going to refer back to Nikki when he comes back to me.
So see, he created a connection, and he was confident in what he was saying. So, and then that's basically the business, right? All right, guys, so that was it. A little bit of lead conversion 101 training. If you have questions, or you feel like you need a little bit more on this, please reach out. I'm happy to, one-on-one with you. I'm sure Nadine would be happy to, answer a couple questions if you have any. And that's going to be all. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it short, and we will see you guys at our photo shoot next Friday if you can make it. from 10 to 1. If you can't, no worries, but I at least need the people who need photo shoots to be there.
All right.
All right, guys. Well, you have a great morning. Thank you for joining us at 9 a.m. Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
All right. Sounds good. Let me find Facebook because we're also live. Hi, Facebook Live. Bye, guys.